how to pass through that situation, make it successful, then and then you are
Work
a
it
real
out.
leader.
Work it out.
कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं।
Sometimes we feel we making choices. The fact is the choices make us. It's always said that we should always look at long-term losses before short-term benefits.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you and Emotionally Yours with Pratik. In this episode, we've got one of the very charming personalities with us, Mr. RRDESHPANDE. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Rajendra Deshpande.
Thank you very
much.
much.
And a very warm welcome to this episode of Emotionally Yours with Pratik. Now let me introduce our guest. Mr. Rajendra Deshpande has been the MD of Kirloskar Oil Engines. For 47 years, he's been in Kirloskar Oil Engines, joined as a trainee engineer, is an engineer. So if the truth be told on a lighter note, Mr. Rajendra, I'm an engineering dropout. So this is closest to the engineering I ever could get. And it's a pleasure to have you here. One of the very renowned faces in the industry. How have you been, sir?
See, you can see in the industry as such, since I was part of Kirloskar Oil Engines, since my, I can say when I came out of College of Engineering, Pune,
Correct.
to last 5 years I've been retired, but this 43 years journey, I've been active from, I can say, Pune location, and I have worked across all functions in the company. At the same time, I was a part of the different, I can say, industrial bodies like CII. I was, I can say, chairman MSME panel for 2 years in CII Pune. Then I was a governing council member for Association of Automotive Association of, I can say, this one, ARAI. What they say.
ARAI.
So such bodies I was there, and I was very active into this. And from that perspective, I was known in the industry. And one of the, I can say, speciality, which is very rare, that I joined as a management trainee and I retired as a management and managing director and CEO of the company. So throughout the journey in one company becomes a very rare nowadays.
Of course. Let me tell you that you spent around 47 years. It's very difficult to find somebody who would stay 47 months in a company these days. So when you stayed longer with a company, you saw various cultural changes in the company. I'm sure there are various generations of workers, managers, executives, and you joined right from, a trainee onwards and then grew into a bigger one. Let us try and understand how has been the journey from the emotions point of view from time to time, right from the day you joined till the time you've been there. And I believe now you're on the panel of their Vasundhara Foundation, Kirloskar Vasundhara Foundation. You keep doing a lot of work in sports. You are a golfer. You've been a member of Cricket Association, Maharashtra Cricket Association, if I'm not mistaken, BCCI, and various aspects of your personality. So I would like to understand that when you saw that this company, when you joined in, you experienced that it was a completely different culture. Vis-a-vis now when you retired, there have been various transitions of cultures and people and leaderships and management levels and various kind of emotions people carry at work. So how has been your experience in terms of managing those different generations?
Yeah. See, today the 5th generation of Kirloskar are working. So out of 5 generations, I have worked with 4 generations.
Oh.
So I can say it started with the 2nd generation, Mr. S.L. Kirloskar, Shantanurao Kirloskar, popularly known as.
Right.
And when I joined, he was there. And when I got retired, the 5th generation is now running. So during these I can say 4 generations, I have seen real changes in the management, I can say, practices And when you are going through this, I can say, journey, uh, typically whenever the generation changes, this, I can say, the style, the working, I can say, methodology, that changes. Maybe the company remains the same, the processes remains the same, but the, I can say, the behavioral changes typically are there. See, when I entered into Kirloskar Oil Engines from College of Engineering, Pune, I was actually taken for, I can say, for the company in general for marketing. But
Okay.
when actually for the medical test, when I appeared, the doctor said, and he used to be a very veteran doctor, Dr. Gokhale, he said, RR, you are fit for production. Please go for production on the shop floor. Then I said, okay, no problem. That time, whatever was the guidance given by the senior people, we used to accept it point blank. And from that, I went to production. I started my career with the third shift on the shop floor. So, third shift, second shift, first shift on the rotation. So, first 10 years I worked on the shop floor. And while working on the shop floor, typically I can say that when you work with the people, these people are of your father's age. So you have to start giving respect from the first day itself. It is there is no level difference. You are engineer and he is a team member, but still you have to give respect to him. Then and then only he can train you. He can tell the typical, I can say, tips on the shop floor what is to be done. And from the first day itself, my boss actually asked me to work on the machines. So in a month's time, I'm really proud that I used to work on almost all machines. That gave me a confidence that, because normally in the production shop, like quality is most important thing, but at the same time productivity is also most important thing.
True.
And from that perspective, how to make more number of jobs is always a target. And from that perspective, if you start working on the machine, you know the process, you know the sequences, I think you give more value to the operations. And that gave me a lot of confidence and the shop floor. And as I go along the different, I can say, functions like assembly, like planning, purchasing, all these things, and when I went through, I really became a good engineer, because you know that in the colleges, whatever it is taught, it is a basic thing. The practical things are on the shop floor. Whatever is there, you can see the changing form of a material into a product, and that gives you, I can say, real satisfaction. That from a raw material to a finished product, that gives you a lot of, I can say, satisfaction that we have produced, and this gives you, I can say, satisfaction. And then those days, one of the, I can say, basic thing was that you believe in your boss. And bosses also used to be, my boss, Mr. Tikekar, he was again alumni of COEP, and he used to tell me so many good things, and he said that when you work with the people, when you work with the machines, you are actually producing. So respect people, respect the machine, and that was the basic thing. So as on date, if you ask me, there are only two pillars where Toyota works on, and one is, first is respect for people, and second is continuous improvement. So shop floor, all these two things are very, very important. So that was the lesson given by my seniors, and I owe, I can say, respect to my all seniors who taught me, and because of those people, I am standing here or sitting here talking to you from a different perspective. And then as the second generation, the third generation, see, the people were having a lot of knowledge, and today you have to be in a learning mode. Whatever they tell you, you have to learn out of it. That was very important from us, because what happens is, those days basic machines were there. Nowadays there are a lot of CNC machines, but those days it was general purpose machine, what is called as. And in the production shop floor, on the general purpose machine, it was a lot of manual skill. And this manual skill is coming from the operators or the team members. So unless and until you give respect to him, he will not tell you what is happening. And that was the basic, I can say, the crux on the shop floor. So working with people, taking along with people is very, very important. And that was the first message to me, that along the respect for people, you have to take along with your team, so that whenever there are steep targets, whenever there are challenges, these people are a part of your team. So you have to take along with you this complete team. So whatever I actually learned in the sports, like I used to play cricket from my company also, as well as the private club. But in the company team, your subordinate may be your captain. So on the ground, you are on the same, I can say, platform. So it is not boss and your subordinate relationship at all. And therefore, all these things actually work on that they give you a lot of instructions on the field, of the field. You have to obey that. And I tell you, the leadership qualities in the sports actually pays you bonus into your work area. This is also, and that's what I always say, a good sportsman can be a good manager, but a good manager may not be a good sportsman.
Awesome.
This is very, very important. So as you go along, when you play sports, all the leadership qualities are demonstrated there. Same qualities, similar qualities are required on the shop floor. And these are all teachings from the sports, and this is what is the, I can say, relationship between the sports and your career. Because as you go along in the career, you have to handle the people. Talk to him. You know the emotions of the people. What is happening, because that is very important. When a steep targets are taken or steep targets are there, you have to talk to him. You have to explain him the situation, what is happening, what is required. And when you really talk to him and he knows, yes, this is the situation and these are the challenges, he is with you 100%. And this is the, I can say, success for any successful company or the team. This is what is required. So these are all learnings as you go along to the different, I can say, generations. This come. So when the generation changes, that time also technology also changes. So if you see, the CNC machines came after general purpose machine. In the CNC machines, then 2-axis machine, 3-axis machine, 4-axis. As we go along, the technology change and the skills required, whatever are, completely changes also. Today it's a world of digitalization. So as on date, machines are there. So whatever is actually on the drawing, you can produce the same way, because you have got a technology which are latest machines. So generation wise, if you see, but at the same time, from a person perspective, when you grow older and older in the organization, your responsibility also goes up. And this responsibility and the power, what you get, also you have to really look for the betterment of the people, the betterment of your plant, betterment of your company. And this requires, at least, means the HR factor came afterwards actually. Previously it was IR only.
IR, personnel.
Correct, personnel. But now it is HR, the human resource management. All these things came when the generation changes, because I remember HR was not part of any, I can say, company previously. I'm talking about 70s and 80s. But then HR came, and HR only came because this behavioral factor, I can say, the respect for people, that was the main crux of it. If you want to be successful, you have to start respecting your team.
Awesome.
Talk to the people. This is what I can say.
Respect is a foundation for a mutually beneficial relationship. This is what I draw from what you have said, and very important, I agree with you, having played sports myself, that nothing teaches better than sports in life. How to take failures in life, how to bounce back, how to chase your targets, how to, take your team along with you, even in difficult situations, and align them. With respect, with these regards, you align the teams with the targets, be them production targets, sales targets, financial targets, so on and so forth. And then you see that the people are aligned. So I'm taking these three most important aspects: A, respect; B, alignment; and C, understanding people. Okay, this is at the crux of the entire thing. As you rightly said, IR was regarded as something which has to do with legal aspects more than the people aspects. So it was more of a compliance function.
Correct.
Then came in where, it was more about processes, systems, so on and so forth. And then, of course, jokingly people say that HRs are needed because you have to have somebody to play Antakshari with. But then the real crux of HR is very, very strategic in nature, in terms of getting the right people, fitting the right people in the places, and getting them culturally elevated.
Absolutely.
Now that you've worked with 4 generations that you've mentioned, 43 years, respect was something that was told. And when you grew up, I'm told that your father was from police force. So I'm sure you might have seen that amount of discipline, that amount of respect, that amount of, tough schedules, volatility in the schedule, because there's nothing is certain, right?
Yeah.
You live in a lot of uncertain and difficult conditions. How do you see this versus when you were actually practicing these skills? So do you feel that even those elements of upbringing had something to do with the amount of respect, discipline, and various other aspects?
Yeah. See, my father was a police officer. He started his career when actually before the independence.
British times.
British time, and then it was continued. And very disciplined officer. So he gave only 2, I can say, mantras for us, that during the school days, during your school and college, when the education is going on, one is study, second is health. So for health, it is exercise, sports, games, whatever. And study is whatever is in the school or whatever college, you have to you have to try your best. And because of these two things, actually I became engineer. Otherwise, it was because of 14 years of my childhood, I was in police line. I was living in police line.
Correct.
And a lot of my friends and children of the police, we used to play together and all. So with his discipline only, I became engineer.
Okay.
I give full marks to him because regularly with his reviews and all, he used to give us a lot of guidance, and he said, these are the 2 basic factors. And this is from a sustenance point of view. It will take you long if you have got education in place and health in place. Because he was a wrestler. So, yes.
Wow.
And that's why, whatever, I can say, he gave us a regular, I can say, early morning, wake up at 5 o'clock and then go for a running or a gym, exercise. That gave us the, I can say, strength. And because and that's why people say, ki health is wealth, wealth is not health. Correct. So if health is in proper condition, that gives you a lot of strength in your career, in your whatever you do. And that's why I can say that discipline, because of my father, I think it gave me a lot of, I can say, pluses in my life, which still I am cherishing. So
Great.
This discipline came into, I can say, regular in working also. Because what happens, whatever are the sanskars in the childhood, it is a lifelong. And that gave us, I can say, the real path in the journey of your total career.
True.
So discipline played a major role. At the same time, health. See, a lot of traveling is there. So all your habits also plays a major thing. And
Absolutely.
this regular walking, see, as on date also, once in a month we go by walk to Alandi.
My God.
Yeah, yeah.
Once in a month to
Once
Alandi.
yes.
That must be what, 45 kilometers?
No. See, what we do, we park the vehicles at Vishrantwadi.
Oh, okay.
And from there, so almost I can say 15 kilometers.
15, 20. That's even bigger.
Yeah, 15 kilometers a month we do, and this is for last 34 years.
Oh,
And early morning at 4 o'clock,
my.
because that time the traffic is not there.
Correct.
So it is safe to walk in the morning.
Correct.
And once in a year, we walk first is Alandi and then to Dehu. So it is 32 kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah. Last Sunday only, I can say once in a year that we say is an annual exam. So that happened. And last 34 years I am doing this. So regular, I can say walking, playing sports, that gives you, I can say, patience, your cool mind, your calmness, that only come because of the sound health. And that gave me, I can say, one of my, I can say, success factor in the life, whatever I have done, is discipline and the health.
And the consistency.
And the consistency, yes.
Right.
Consistency for sure.
Right.
Because when you get benefits, you know that it is only because of this. So you continue.
And then that helps in the emotional well-being.
Yes.
That's where we come from. So emotional well-being is a combined factor of good health, okay, physical health, I mean, second, discipline, and third, the value systems which are incorporated in you.
Yes.
Sanskar is what you've spoken about. When you see that these value systems, even the companies have various values.
Yes.
And those are not merely compliances, right? Vision, mission, value.
No.
These are not compliances. People do take them as compliances. Whenever you see, I'm sure during your careers, you might have come across many times that you found that there's an exceptionally good performer, but probably he's not aligned to the value system of the company, or vice versa. How do you, I'm sure you would have some experiences to share that, how you aligned people with those values and inculcated those discipline areas.
Yeah. Very good, I can say, observation as such. See, it happens because what happens is, after all, a human being consists so many, I can say, different factors, plus, minus, both factors are there.
Right.
And though he is a good performer, but he is not adhering to the value system, that becomes a real challenge to face with. Because whether to look for what he is performing or the basic values he is deviating from. So first is the counseling. So we used to counsel, but otherwise, if it is a further deterioration, then there is no other solution but to depart. And we used to tell him, this is not acceptable. We have already given you some time, but we value these typical values more than the performance. And therefore, in the, I can say, company environment or any, you can say, team environment also, the basic value system is very, very important, and that gives you the real strength of the team also. Because if somebody knows that though I have performed very well, but I can deviate somewhere, no, that message is gone to the people, and that gives you a better team to work with.
So it's always said that you should always look at long-term losses before short-term benefits.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And values would really make you feel that you're on the right track. It's like hygiene of the food.
Yeah.
No matter how tasty it is, but it has to be hygienic as well.
Absolutely.
All right. And in this connect, we've heard about this initiative a lot, where you used to invite people on coffees and used to meet one-on-one, called Coffee with RR. Okay. While we sip this coffee, I would like to understand a little more about Coffee with RR.
Okay. See, coffee with RR is a, I can say, a concept, but nowadays it has been practiced in different companies, which I know 3-4 companies are already there. See, this is a, I can say, program I started only because when a lot of attritions were there, new people were taken. I was not knowing what are their names. The introduction was not there because in the induction program, senior people, maybe MD, I can say, discussions were not there. But then I thought that I should know people who are new to this company. They should know the history of the company. They should know what this company was doing 50 years back. Because now if you see, my company is almost 78 years old. And from that perspective, then I remember a program was there on the TV those days, was a Coffee with Karan. And Karan used to ask questions and they have to answer. And I can say a lot of issues were there because while answering, they may get wrong. But then I said, no, I will not do in this way. So
No more gossips.
absolutely.
I mean, that has turned into a
Correct,
gossip show.
correct. So I devised a program in the reverse way. I said they should ask me a question. I will answer on the past, present, and the future of the company, and any other subject they want to. But they have to ask one question, and that's why a group of people on a different, I can say, different strata, right from the top people to the junior most level people, 25 or 30 people at a time. We used to meet with coffee, and on the coffee mug it was written Coffee with RR. So program was completely designed. So first, after the introduction is over, they have to ask me one question, and I will answer. And there is no repeat question or a repeat, I can say, chance for a person because everybody has to ask. And from that perspective, they used to ask so many questions, and I used to give that answer. It was recorded regularly. So yeah, it was a recorded program. And after the program is over, a group photograph and the feedback form, what is to be changed or what improvement should be there in this program, I used to take. So in this, what I was getting it. See, one is introduction of myself to them. They will know what is happening in the company or what is going to happen in the company. Whatever we are working in this company, what is the history of the company? Because in the questions they used to ask all this. But the most important thing for me was the pulse of the organization I could get through those questions. Because what is happening, what they are thinking of in their mind will come through questions. So from that, if there is an issue, if there is a problem going on, all these things comes through the questions to me. And then I used to give solutions to that, and these solutions after implementation they were satisfied. So this program was the first feedback was this program should be the time is hardly 2 hours, so we should increase this time.
Oh,
Because it was so attractive for these people. See, typically top people talking to the bottommost level people becomes actually issue in a lot of organizations. But I said no, I will introduce myself, please introduce yourself. And in that, I came to know what is happening in my company. And that gave me say. So wherever I used to go in my dealership, means we have got a lot of area offices,
correct.
marketing. So I used to go to suppose Lucknow. So in Lucknow, I used to have this Coffee with RR program.
Oh, wow.
Or in different plants, I used to, suppose we have got a plant in Kolhapur. I will go to Kolhapur for my work. That time this program is arranged. And this give me a lot of strength because almost I can say 70% of my people I met through this program, and I came to know so many issues running. And what happens is his boss will not be in the program. So he is
So it's
free.
like skip level.
Correct, skip level. So he will be very, I can say, free to talk to me because boss is not around and give me, I can say, feedback, suggestion, whatever in the form of this thing. So Coffee with RR was a very successful program. And I remember one day Atul Kirloskar, who was chairman of our company, he said, RR, I want to be a part of that. One day,
Oh.
please call me. I want to see how people react.
Wow.
So that gives me, I can say, yeah, whatever I am doing is correct.
Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement, absolutely. And I remember when we won CII Exim Business Excellence Award 2019, the assessors people, when they came, and this actually is I can say, you have to submit your complete document to this assessment team, and then they will come and actually check what is there. So in that 2-3 pages were there on Coffee with RR. Na? So they used to come and say, we want to have a Coffee with RR session.
Wow.
Assessors. And with this, they were also impressed that yes, this is a real, I can say, a program which gives you a lot of information. At the same time, it's a satisfaction to your people that we are a part of a very good company, and how this company grew, so we should be a part of this company. So that gives also less attrition, because they used to know how the company is working.
So there are many hidden areas which come in front of the people,
Yes.
in front to the people, and of course, coffee is a great connector. I must say that being a coffee addict myself, I can really vouch for it. And coffee connects people. I mean, coffee is anyways a bahana.
Yeah, correct.
So, but then this tells me that connecting with people, understanding the issues which are happening at the ground level, and arranging it in a skip level also tells a lot about the openness to feedback. Now, this openness to feedback that we find, especially in corporate India, and especially in the ages when this was more of industrial age, which you have seen yourself, it was very difficult to give the right feedback, and even accepting the feedback both ways.
Yes, yes.
And often I have observed that these feedback sessions entirely become a blame game sessions or a criticism session. So I'm sure you must have encountered where feedbacks were full emotionally filled. They were very, very, if I have to put it, man ki bhadas nikalna types. Just went out everything.
Yeah, I know.
So how did you handle such situations?
Yeah. See, first when I designed this program, I have told to my mind that first is I have to accept, and I have to be ready to accept again what he is talking about. Because unless you are open to the acceptance of what he is saying, you cannot give solution. If you confront him there and there itself, people are not going to talk to you. They will open out only when you start accepting what at least he says, recepting at least what he says. See, we have got one mouth and 2 ears. So more and more you have to listen to, and that listen to quality actually develops when people start talking to you. So first is grasping what he is talking about, from where he is coming. So that was important. So I said, okay, I am open to that. I am ready to take suppose some, I can say suggestions or a comment he is going to make is, I have to really take it as a bitter pill. But yes, that is going to give me a solution, or him a solution which improves the company, I can say, image also. Because in the eyes of him, he has got some issue and he is opening out. I have to first listen to him, accept him, give a solution, counter solution to him. And I remember I had given so many, I can say, different improvement points. Because of them, they gave me. And these points, immediate after this meeting is over, because one of the HR representative used to be there while recording this. So immediate solutions were also there. So I used to give them solution, and it was implemented. And since a top person is talking about all, there was no issue as such for me that to whom I should ask and then give a solution. As a top person, I used to give solution. So you have to be first open in your mind.
Absolutely.
And then only you can improve. See, for any change, you have to first start accepting. Unless you listen to it, then he is going to open out and tell you what is really troubling him or I can say pitching.
His difficulties.
Yes.
Great. So what you're saying is one has to be open enough to understand that and acknowledge, yes, there are issues, there are problems. We're not going to deny they don't exist. But at the same time, it's very, very important to make the person feel heard. He has to feel that he has been heard.
Correct.
And that by itself is a great healer. And that is the emotional connect that you bring to the table. Now let us talk about some of the most difficult moments throughout this 47 years journey that you have encountered from the emotional perspective. Some of the most difficult situations where you were either in a dilemma or those were very difficult situations emotionally for you.
Okay, I will start with, I can say, in the first year when I started my career, I wanted to actually go for MBA. So I took a loan and paid the fees in IMDR. Those days IMDR used to be there. So, but I was in shifts. So the first shift, actually it was ending at 4:15 p.m. and then in the evening the classes were there. But my boss used to give me so much of work and he used to say, RR, I will teach you MBA. So whatever you have paid fees, it's okay. But then I bunked the lectures. I didn't complete my MBA. But with his teachings, with whatever I have done the work, nowadays people ask me for different lectures in the MBA courses. I give them this one and they feel that I am an MBA student. But the point is, I live MBA daily.
Wow.
It is not that I have to learn MBA. But this happened and that time it was very difficult for me because I have taken the loan and my boss is saying, RR, leave it there, I will teach you. So emotionally, that time it was very difficult for me what to do. Because if I would have said, okay, what you say is right, but still I have to go to my lectures and all. But see, typically when he also insisted me, this one, I was knowing that he is going to rely on me and tell me different, I can say, teachings about the management. Like suppose you get some success, that success, every time you cannot say, this is mine because of me. Start giving that success, I can say, acknowledgement to your subordinates that you have done it.
That sense of gratitude.
Correct. Because he has done it, so you have done it. That is going to come. But
True.
First is when you give this credit to him, that plays a major role.
Absolutely.
So such type of teachings in MBA,
are normally, remain in the books than the...
Correct. But this was the experience, so it was emotionally a very big challenge for me. Then I remember one incident typically when I was in charge of production and 200 managers were in my team and almost 2,000 people means team members were there with me. I was in charge of production. But company policy, we came with actually BU head, business unit head position. Means what? The one person will head the business unit. So he should know, I can say, different functions. At least he should go or learn different functions of the company, like production, your sourcing, planning, so many things. So one day my senior most person, he asked me, RR, I want to shift to you for a different function only because the next level person, he wants us experience in manufacturing. Because if I would have been there, he didn't get this particular experience. So I was shifted from this position as a head of manufacturing to a project head. Project head means only 3 people were reporting to me.
Oh.
So 200 managers plus 2,000 people or 3,000 people to hardly 3 managers reporting to you.
My God.
Complete scenario was changed. And it got so, I was so much disturbed that is it a degradation for me or is it what I should do? So emotionally I was really fighting it out. But then again, I said if it is done by my superiors, seniors, it must be good for me.
There must be a reason.
There must be reason. And from that point of view, I started working in project department. I formed a project department. We got a very good project those days, international project, because we bought second-hand machinery from, I can say, Germany. There because reunification happened in 1992, 93.
Correct.
And that time, second-hand machinery we bought from there. A team of 40 people I was leading in Germany, and we bought the second-hand machines and then implemented. So such type of experience otherwise would not have been there. So I got such experience which ultimately gave me strength for taking the position of business unit head. Because after 2 years I became business unit head. But this change of, because normally people think that so many people reporting you means you are powerful. This is not correct. It is actually what work you are doing, what contribution you are doing, what value addition you are doing to the company makes sense actually. And that gives you the strength. So that was also a difficult moment. Emotionally, if you ask me, I was disturbed that time. But then I had a trust on my seniors which gave me this time.
Patience, trust, resilience.
Yeah.
These are various qualities that I see you practicing throughout this journey. And as I've spoken to you about 4 generational changes, now let me come to the sports thing. Okay, last time we were to pull you out of the golf game for coming over here. Golf now, you've been in golfing for pretty long. I mean, this is taken up with the equal amount of passion. Sports is also equal amount of passion. So is social contribution. How do you balance these things?
See, since beginning I was in sports and I can say right from the school, first standard itself, I was in different sports. I played different games, different like indoor games, outdoor games, team games, individual games. Like the best was I used to row, actually rowing. So I defeated in an international competition.
Oh.
Yeah, with the opponent was from Hong Kong, and in the history of College of Engineering Pune, I was the first single scull winner in the history of in the last 100 years or whatever. And then after me there was another person, but I won that rowing final in the single sculls, and actually that was my topmost point. And after that, then due to work pressures and the career
Demands.
this one I didn't further pursue it rowing as such. But then after I got retired, then I started playing golf. So hardly 5 years.
Okay.
But golf is a game. It actually is the most toughest game out of all games. And you play with your own, I can say, mind, your own, I can say, ideas, because whatever you do, the result is with you only. It is not, and that gives you, I can say,
you're playing against yourself.
Against yourself, absolutely correct. So I played a lot of games. I was in the different capacity working. I am a founder member of Maharashtra Rowing Association.
Oh.
Yeah. So I founded this in 1977.
Wow.
And now Maharashtra Rowing Association is working very fine, but I was the founder member.
Okay.
So I remember in 1975, I was the joint secretary for Maharashtra Ladies Cricket Association.
Oh.
Yeah, nowadays you see all these ladies cricket.
Yeah.
But those days it was beginning of ladies cricket as such. And I remember we used to, actually when we used to call for the girls, we used to go and convince the parents that this is the game which is going to come. So please allow because maybe your daughter is playing very good, so please allow her. So we used to go and travel also to the different destinations for the matches, the nationals. The first ladies cricket national was in Pune. So the sports as such is in, I can say, as a player, at the organizer also.
As an administrator.
Administrator also. I was I'm a managing committee member of Maharashtra Cricket Association, elected member.
Correct.
In that capacity, when I was there, I was, I can say, selected for a match observer from BCCI. In I think it is 2018, Ranchi, fourth one-day international between India and New Zealand. So it's a complete a good experience, different experience as a individual, because ICC, there is a complete, I can say, guideline, 300 pages report we have to give about the match, about the facilities, about the infrastructure, about everything, about the match. See, all these things, when I went through, it gives really satisfaction that in any game, like a player is important, the administration behind it, also these people gives a lot of, I can say, value addition. Otherwise, these tournaments are never successful. Any game.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, I was a match observer for BCCI. I used to live with all our stalwarts, Indian team,
Correct.
and the selectors and all.
Oh,
As I was actually in Pune, when the foreign team used to come, I had been in the capacity of local team manager. So local team manager means when the Indian team arrives or a foreign team arrives at the airport, you are with them in the bus also, because they come from the bus. So from airport to airport, means while going also you are there. So from airport to airport you are with them. You look for their all facilities, all practice problems, whatever on the ground. So all these things you have to be with them. So I had been as a Indian team manager, local team manager, for foreign team manager. I was a official for third umpire also and the fourth umpire also. Yeah. All these responsibilities are very important. They need support, and this support is from the local team as such. Yeah. So we were there. So I worked in this capacity. So I remember Dhoni one day. So he said, RR, while we were getting down from the bus at the ground, he said, RR, I got a problem. My helmet strip has been actually displaced, so the welding has to be done. But it is a material is titanium, which is very crucial. So welding is very difficult. If you can do it, it's okay, but don't disturb this. So I said, okay. So I remember one of my friend who was in actually Pune MIDC, I called him. He said, I can do that. So a person was sent there. He did that welding, and then I went to Dhoni and gave that helmet. He said, it is a, I can say, lucky helmet for me. So you have done a wonderful job. So I said, can you talk to my friend who has actually done the welding for you? Then he talked to him for 5 minutes, I remember. And whenever I met Dhoni afterward, he remembered this incident and he said, RR, you have done a wonderful job. Wow. I know Dhoni and all the stalwarts very well because we used to live with them in the 3 days, whatever they are, or 4 days in this. Right. So in the administration of any game or in the capacity of as an organizer or whatever, it gives you a lot of, I can say, satisfaction that all these celebrities, how they behave, how they actually talk to the colleagues on all. I used to be there with them on the
presentation ceremony.
Then in the dugouts.
Correct.
So how they talk to each other, how in the when the situation on the ground changes, how the instruction changes. All I have seen.
Oh, great. So it's always said that it's the strategy. Unless you have people with you, the strategy is not going to work. Okay, and that's what I have written in my book. called Culture Drives Strategy. Can you explain a little bit in terms of the efforts that you had taken to build great work culture in various associations, bodies, and Kirloskar you had been with? One, of course, is Coffee with RR.
Yeah.
We've taken that.
Yeah. See, typically when you formulate a strategy, which typically like there are different solutions to any problem, but then when you work it out, a solution which you are going to pursue it further, because in a strategy, how also plays a major role. It is not only you take a decision or you say I will go by this route, but why and how and what are the implications of this. So while formulating strategies, you have to think of all these things. And I remember taking a difficult, I can say, decision in the difficult, and I can give you example on this. I have seen 4 to 5 typically downtrends in the industry throughout of my
4
career.
recessions.
4 recessions, including 2008 Lehman Brothers.
Correct.
See, in the difficult times, typically, when the recession is there, on one side, the business is not happening. On the other side, you have to, I can say, build up your team, give them the, I can say, the confidence that this is a temporary phase. We have to pass through this phase and bounce back again. And from that perspective, you have to really, first you have to be ready with this situation. So you have to tell yourself that कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. See, this type of stanza, and
Correct.
I remember that one day, because this with the cost reduction efforts for a Xerox, I used to say rough Xerox I will accept, no issue. So one day some stanza was there, the poem was there. I said, yeah, to my secretary, what is this here? I have asked for so and so, so and so. He said, it is on the back side. But then said, what is this? He said, this is a rough paper. But when I checked, it was Harivansharai
Bachchan's
this
Kavita.
one. And I am talking about this 25 years back.
Oh,
It is not, it is came in the limelight nowadays.
Correct,
But
correct.
This is, I am talking about 25 years. And I really tell you, that gives me a lot of confidence that you have to start working towards it. This कोशिश करने वालों को कभी हार नहीं होने वाला. And there are, the last stanza is very, very important. And I remember this stanza that,
let me recite it for you.
yes,
लहरों से डरकर नौका कभी पार
that
नहीं
is the first
होती,
stanza.
कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती.
नन्ही चीटी जब
नन्ही
दाना लेकर
चींटी,
चलती है 100 बार फिसलती है, पर आखिर उसके
कोशिश
कोशिश
बेकार
बेकार
नहीं
नहीं होती.
होती.
But I am remembering a last stanza, which is very, very important. Can I just check after you
Sure,
tell me?
sure. Can we?
अरे बाप रे. Normally in the difficult times, people get worried about कि the situation is against the, what you can say, he is worried on, and therefore असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसे स्वीकार करो. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
It is if you have got some failure, okay, first accept it.
Correct.
This is what is important. क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो. So find out the gaps where you have failed and improve it. जब तक न सफल हो नींद चैन की त्यागो तुम. Unless and until you get successful, you should not get sleep.
Correct.
संघर्षों का मैदान छोड़ो मत भागो तुम.
Oh,
This is a tough time.
yeah.
So you cannot run away from this situation.
Face
You
it.
have to be there. You have to face it. कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती. कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती.
वाह.
See, unless you are successful, ऐसा कोई आपका जय जयकार नहीं करेगा.
True.
You have to pass through that situation, make it successful. There and then you are
Work
a
it
real
out.
leader.
Work it out. Face
So
it.
this 25 years back,
Ooh.
when I read it, It gave me a lot of strength, and I gave this to my all team. And there are so many, I can say, such type of poems, articles. About Lincoln, such type of article is also there. Because so many times he got defeated, but he became the president of US.
And one of the best presidents.
Best president. Then Mr. Abdul Kalam also has got such type of poem. So my point is, when you have got a strategy, such type of, I can say, poems gives you strength to deliver to people, which people get it immediately. See, कितना powerful word है ये.
Beautiful.
And संघर्षों का मैदान छोड़ो मत भागो तुम. Otherwise, in normal condition, you yield to the situation. But
you give up.
Correct, you give up. But the strategy is no, you have to be successful,
fight it
work it out, find out where are the gaps. All these are strategies.
True.
So such type of thing actually gave me this strength.
Truly inspirational lines, and thanks for reciting them. Of course, the last stanza, even I forgot. Many years back, I have heard it from my father, who himself was a Hindi poet, by the way. And you know, there has been an atmosphere of Hindi poetry in our family. My sister is a poet now, so even she writes. And I always believe that these inspirational words not only make you great, but they actually make you a better person. And I always say this. Sometimes we feel we making choices. The fact is, the choices make us.
Yes.
All right. So this is very, very powerful, and this is where, on a lighter note, you know, handicaps are not only in golf. They are everywhere, and we definitely need to have that great sense of optimism. Because of this great sense of optimism, the 4 recessions that you have faced, you've been able to get the team together, motivate them, fuel them with positive emotions.
Positive
energy, which reflects, radiates, and ever-learning attitude that we have got it from you. It was awesome talking to you, sir, and it indeed is a great pleasure having you today. Before we conclude, I would like to understand what next now.
See, now, after my retirement is over, whatever my experience is there.
May I interrupt you?
Yeah.
You say you're retired, but you're doing so many things. I wouldn't call it as a retirement, by the way.
Okay, let me finish, then you will come to know. See, I have retired from my whatever I was doing previously for 43 years. But afterward now, with my whatever experience, my networking and all, I have decided to give it back to the society and to my company. And therefore, I work in the social work category. As a mentor, I have worked for 4 different programs of Kirloskar, and I have worked for 4 different non-Kirloskar companies also. As well, I have been appointed on the National Board of Accreditation by central government. So I am I can say, executive committee and a general committee member of National Board of Accreditation. So I work in the, I can say, educational field. And this is the time I am giving back to the society and to my company. So this is the future, and I really enjoy this after whatever the work I have done for the company.
Because you have done so many things and still doing so many things of giving back to the society, ऐसे ही जय जयकार नहीं होती. On that note, I would like to end our talks. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much for enlightening with your experiences.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as a tradition now, we've got one of the last ones to do, which is, there are 2 mugs. One, I'm going to sign it for you and give it to you as a token of our appreciation. The second one, as a memento, you will sign it and give it to me.
Okay.
All right. May we have the mugs, please? All right. And it's here. Let me sign it for you, sir, first. I'll put today's date. That's for you.
Thank you.
Can we have the picture? Thank you.
Yeah.
And your turn, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.